My deepest appreciation to all who have and are and will serve the Jewish people and our future by leading this congregation. It truly is a holy task, and in these times, an historic and important duty. Mordechai speaks plainly to Queen Esther, and who knows, perhaps you have attained to royal position for just such a crisis. There is a Yiddish proverb that says, you can't control the wind, but you can adjust the sails. At this moment, I offer my gratitude to Michael Kuhne for his extraordinary leadership and the impressive hardworking team surrounding him on the executive committee, the board, and committees. Michael, you became president when our attention was on anti-Semitism and security. That was not what you signed up for when you agreed to this role many years before. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust the sails. Michael led us with patience, with calm, with empathetic listening, and with his example. All last summer, he was our first shomer, standing outside our doors to keep watch as we prayed within, and as we figured out new protocols for our safety. Who would have imagined that we might even forget those days? Fearing some individuals targeting their hate toward us because we now fear a rampant disease that is indiscriminate. Not that anti-Semitism is gone, far from it, but what we fear has magnified. We are concerned about our health, how we live, how we congregate, how we operate our economic infrastructure, and how so much in our world may change. We long for simple pleasures, now forbidden, and we ache for human touch. As Reinhold Niebuhr reminds us, there will never be a utopia. We will always have crises and always need heroes. As the current pandemic reveals, no amount of infrastructure and legislation could remove the need for courageous people to step up. But as Niebuhr also reminds us, the diligent study of history reveals more or less predictable patterns. Through collective action, we can put programs in place to mitigate the damage caused by viruses, natural disasters, and human selfishness. And that is where Mount Zion shines. Anxieties are real and natural, but working together, we are poised to lift our courage and our compassion. We will make a difference for ourselves and our community as we address challenges with creativity. Even as the reform movement this week announced major layoffs, even as camp has been canceled for 10,000 youth across the country just in our movement. Even as we imagine lowered revenue at Mount Zion and how we will operate with less. We have weathered the storms of our 164 years, and we will weather this one too. We will put our faith in the possible and coordinate our efforts in that direction. As Harvard professor Marshall Gans teaches, quoting Maimonides, to be a realist is to know that in the world, there is also possibility, not just probability. It is always probable that Goliath will win, but sometimes David does. Hope is the belief in the plausibility of the possible instead of the necessity of the probable. What is possible, even as slim, is still plausible. And there we place our faith and action. What gives me hope is the team I have by my side every day. Figuratively, of course. And here I'll pause and reshare my screen for a moment. I'm not going to list everyone. I just want to have all their names be seen before you. In no particular order. What a team. What an incredible group of people who have been working together. And I do want to just say one special shout out to my rabbinic partner, Rabbi Esther Adler, who has stepped up well beyond her time signature to be here for you, for me, for all of us. Thank you, Esther. I need to stop sharing so that I can see my words. When this crisis started, we were, as a team, meeting every day, now twice a week. Our morale is high. Our administrative team is working day in, day out to switch us over to a new database that will facilitate our online connections. We are planning for next year, even as we focus on transitioning to an online world, finding ways to make such moments connective and even intimate. I don't recall 1,100 people showing up for a regular Shabbat service, but that is how many tuned in to a particular service a few weeks ago on Facebook. And there have been religious school classes, study groups, the Passover videos, afternoon teas with MZ, and so much more. We have managed to even mourn via Zoom during funerals and shivas. We have celebrated baby namings. We have, unfortunately, postponed B'nai Mitzvah, but celebrated the original dates with some participation in the service. And for the first time I'm aware of, we have postponed confirmation. There is nothing easy about this time. We can be grateful still for so much. This is a time we need our community, our Heart Zion, our Mount Zion, for our lives, our own lives, and to help shape our wider society with the values of compassion, wholeness, and justice. I close with a poem called When This Is Over by Laura Kelly Fanucci. When this is over, may we never again take for granted a handshake with a stranger, full shelves at the store, conversations with neighbors, a crowded theater, Kabbalat Shabbat, a routine checkup, the school rush each morning, coffee with a friend, the stadium roaring, each deep breath, a boring Tuesday, life itself. When this ends, may we find that we have become more like the people we wanted to be, that we were called to be, we hoped to be. And may we stay that way, better for each other, because of the worst. Amen. Let us breathe today, reflect on where we are, acknowledge what is hard and what is possible, and then get to work. And again, I say, Amen v'amen. Thank you.